Hello everyone, let's solve another worksheet of MS Access. As it is shown here, you need to open a folder, it's there on your desktop. Currently I have already opened it. You need to locate a file called as students. If you see here, the students file database is already there. It is asking me to rename the file with this. Simply again there are two ways to rename the file. At the top, when you select the file, you can see a rename option, or you can right click on it, click on show more options, choose rename and choose your particular division, your name, and student. Once you are done, please make sure you open the particular table. Do not forget to click on enable content. Till the time you will not click, it will not able to allow you to perform any of the tasks. Let's see the first task. Set roll number as a primary key. By default, when you open a table, you will see a completely blank database. It's not a blank. The table is right here. You can either double click or right click and click on open. Here, this is a datasheet view where we enter the data, enter a record into it. Currently, we are not supposed to use this view for setting up a primary key. So go in a home tab, click on view and design view. Now simply select a roll number field by clicking in the arrow. You can at the top in a table design, you can set a primary key, press save button. Once it's saved, make sure you close it. Because when you are not closing it, when you create a query and run a query, it will show you an error stating that the student table is already open. So once you are done setting up the primary key, simply press and close the table. Now create a query based on the student database. So click on create query wizard, simple query design. Now here it is asking me in this particular order only the table should be there. Let's say first roll number, then first name, last name, date of birth, telephone, email and nationality. Correct? You can check the order, it's all correct. Click on next. It is asking me to save a query as age of oldest student. Please rename your query and modify the query design. Click finish. Now when you are coming back here, you can see all the fields are here which was given. Now let's go to the criteria, which is this mask. Sort the query result based on ascending order of first name. So let's go on the first name. Here is the sorting field. Click on the drop down menu ascending. It's an ascending order of first name, so please make sure you choose first name field only. Now select the records where the first name starts with letter after L. Now after L means greater than or less than. It's always a confusion. When you say before, it's less than because it's prior. After means you can say the things which is coming later on. So you can say greater than. Now here in the criteria, if I write greater than in a double quote L, you need to write greater than double quote L and let's run and see. So if you notice, when you write here, it will also giving you the data for the first name record for the name which start with L. But in a query, it is asking me after L. So in database, when you are writing a particular letter, it is considering that letter and giving you the following data, which we don't need. So here we write M because after L, the letter M is coming. So this is a tricky question that can be asked in an exam paper. So you need to make sure the data is not displaying that particular letter. Now if you notice, the data is coming after L, not with L. Okay, the first criteria is done. Second is date of birth before. So I think so before the person born 1980, you need to write. So that is you have to use less than. So go to date of birth, use less than 0106 1980. Now just when you press a tab key, you can see it automatically add a hashtag, because when you are mentioning a date, it's important to write it which database doing it on its own, so you don't have to worry about it. Next, age October, but I did not add age October over here. So in this particular case, we need to add that particular field. There are two ways to do it. One, from a table at the top, you can double click and it will be added. Let's just try that way. You can see it is added automatically on its own. But as you see in the display table, this particular field is not there. So do not forget to uncheck. That means this particular field is there for criteria, but it will not display the record of it on the query table. Here the criteria for age October is 25 or more. Again, I remind you, you will not able to, you don't supposed to write 25 or more like this, because that is incorrect. You are not supposed to write it simply greater than equal to 25. It's mentioned as 25 or more. Next is gender. Do I have a gender over here? No, I don't think so. Roll number, first name, last name, date of birth, telephone, email, and nationality. There is no gender. So one way I told you, you can double click on the table and add. The other way is click on the drop down menu. From the drop down menu, choose the criteria. Again, this criteria we are not supposed to display into the table. So simply uncheck. Here you will write equal to male, because we need a record where the gender is showing as male only. And last but not the least, either GBR or NLD. Make sure you will not copy the dot, only the text. Here you don't need to write the equal to sign for nationality. As you write automatically, once you press the tab key, it will add a double quote. Please note, if you are typing, make sure you add a double quote for the first criteria, or will not come with double quote, and NLD again will come with the double quote. I'll remove the dot because it is not required. Once it's done, let's run. If you see the total record which are found is only 5, you need to save this query table. Now once it's done, you can close the query table. So 2 tasks are done. Let's move on to the third task. We need to create a form based on the query table. This point is very much important. You need to see based on which table you are creating a form. So I am going in a create tab, form wizard. In a form wizard, by default is choosing for me as a student table, which is not asked in it. So I'll use a query table. Now it's telling me including this all the fields, but if you notice in this field nationality is not there. So I'll either you can do by pressing arrow one at a time. I am doing with double arrow. It will add all the fields automatically. I just don't need a nationality, so I'll add choose nationality, add a back arrow. Now you can see all the fields are there. Click on next. By default you have to choose the column, because here it is mentioned display one record at a time. When you are saying display one record at a time, you need to choose this particular format. It's just like the way we fill our online survey form. Questions on the left hand side, right hand side the text boxes where you are supposed to write the answer. Click on next. Here this is the name given. Either you can copy from the PDF and paste it over there, or you can type. Once it's done, click on modify and finish. Now this view, it's very important for you to understand this view. If you can see currently it is selected, that is a design view. So in case if any formatting changes are asked, for example font, for example background color, image, logo, for all this thing you need to make sure that you use a design view of a form. So here it is asking a title background. Just a small difference here. This is a title and this is a header. Okay, so it's asking me to add a title background. So go to the format tab, background color and green. If you notice the remaining field is blue, so that's fine. Do not make that mistake. Bookman old style, size 22 and text color black. Select the text. I'll simply type bookman, it will come. Size 22, it's a big for me, and black. Now here this content is not fitting. If you notice, the farming text is hiding. So when you go here in the header part, you can see a black arrow is coming. Simply press your left mouse button, hold and drag it down. Your header will increase in a height. Similarly, once you are done, you can see now arrow, standing arrow up and down, which is having. You can increase the size like this for more looking good. You can either put it in the center. That's the one way. The other way is you can try to increase the size. If the contents are fitting very well enough, no need to worry about it. So your wish, you can do this particular way. This is done. Save the form. Done. Now here it is asking me to add a record into the form. Many of the time the student make a mistake by writing all the data over here. That's incorrect. This is a design view. Click on the click on the home tab, go to view, change to form view. In a form view, you're supposed to enter a record. Now at the bottom in a status bar, you can see a arrow with a star into it which showing new blank record. Click on it. Let's just quickly add the record over here for roll number, first name, last name, date of birth is 16 Feb 1972, telephone and email ID. Again, once you are done, click on save. You can go to the new record. Now how do I find my record? So you must be having a query that if we are writing or creating a form based on the query table, then it should be added into query. No, it will be added into a new, it will be added into the old table which is already there for student. To find a record, you need to press Ctrl F. Now in a Ctrl F, we'll look for a roll number because that's a primary key. That means that's a unique field. Now here is a catch. Many of the student, before I'll tell what's the catch, let's just click on find next. You will say, ma'am, the record has been not added. So here we make a mistake that instead of looking into current field is only the field which is a course code. We are looking for a roll number. So instead of doing a current field, you need to use current document. Current document means the entire table which is open. Don't have to choose any of the criteria, not the start of the field, whole field. It will choose entire particular field and click on find next. Now you can see the record is added just the way we have entered. Now this is the way you need to complete the entire MS Access. Click on save. Once you are done, simply close your file and please practice the same thing. Thank you so much everyone.